I got a relevant clarification that the judge used, but I couldn't figure out a way to effectively fight back against it, and I was wondering thoughts about it. I went through the
Okay.
script, was asking the judge, the softball questions and all that.
Hmm.
I came to the fact of the jurisdiction because the prosecutor has said that she didn't submit any of that. She's not required to. So I told him that, but he said now he's taking judicial notice that they have jurisdiction. What's
I'm
an
sorry.
effective way
Back
to
up.
go?
Back up.
Yeah.
You basically glossed over some important things. Okay.
Okay.
So you asked. What's your question on the table at the moment? Right before he took judicial notice, what was the last question that you had asked?
Am I presumed innocent of all elements of the allegations here today?
And instead of answering that, he took judicial notice of some other shit?
No, to answer that, he said, yes, you are presumed innocent of all elements of the allegations here today, except for jurisdiction. Because because the court has taken judicial notice that we have jurisdiction, and then went on to his little rant.
Okay, so he has confessed that you're not presumed innocent of jurisdiction by him because he wants it to be so, correct?
Yes.
Now, just to be clear, as an aside and for posterity and for future reference, right? Do I have the right to be informed of the evidence that you were shown that let you know that?
So asking him for the evidence that he's using to take judicial notice.
Don't change what I asked. Did I cut out?
We're talking about judicial notice.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah, same as yours the other day.
Yeah. Now, what I use against judicial notice is I found out that there are specific requirements for judicial notice, and this is what they use. It's from a book that they use to always quote, at least here. And there are 3 requirements for taking judicial notice. One is that it has to be something that every reasonable man knows. And you can point out to yourself, you can say, well, I don't know that. They might say you're not reasonable, but you can also say, just before I entered this court, I asked everybody in this hall if they know about facts that prove that I'm a citizen and I have to obey the law, and none of the people in this court that are sitting here behind me know about such evidence. So either we are all non-reasonable people, or you can't claim that every reasonable person knows. So that's for the first requirement. Yep. The second requirement for judicial notice is to rely on sources that are not in dispute.
Yep.
Sources that are not in dispute, well, can't be the state. Can't be just another judge.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you don't accept that, and that makes it in dispute.
Yes. And if they keep it secret from you, keeping it secret from you is one way to keep it out of dispute, right?
To bring it back to the clarification, just while I was trying to get it specifically written down, Gary, could you restate the question that I was on the second attempt trying to get right?
And yeah, it's going to the same point as Eon made of, the facts in dispute. I was getting to kind of a bit of what he said, so he did a great, kind of extension on that. But my question was, do I have a right to be informed of the facts that led you to taking judicial notice of that conclusion? What are they? What are the facts that you're taking notice of? I'm taking judicial notice of this conclusion because the facts are so common knowledge. Okay, what are these facts that you're saying are common knowledge? Do I have the right to know them first? Not what are they? Baby steps. Do I have the right to be informed of these facts that you're referring to lead you to the conclusion that you have jurisdiction? To lead you to this judicial notice issue, right? He's trying to use the wrong mechanism, is the point. He's trying to use a mechanism because we're pre-trial. He knows he can get away with a whole lot of garbage. So he's taking judicial notice of jurisdiction, right? A conclusion. Because he's saying it's such common knowledge, he already knows that everybody already knows, so it's not even worth discussing. Okay, do I have the right to know these things that aren't worth discussing? Okay, so, but you get the key points. You know, he's saying, I'm taking judicial notice of this thing that's so common knowledge. Great, that's fine. Here's a conclusion that's based on things that are so common knowledge, I'm taking judicial notice of it. Okay, well, given that, the next question becomes, may I know those things? Would you please, do I have the right to get the list of things that are so common knowledge, or do I not have that right?
Clarify it.
We're trying to get him to say, no, you don't have the right to get, you don't have the right to be told what this common knowledge is I'm referring to. Sorry. We're taking his bullshit and making it even more plain, you know?
Yeah, I took a very ineffective approach, and I asked him, like, judicial notice would mean that it's common knowledge. Well, can anyone in this courtroom tell me how the jurisdiction was acquired?
Yeah,
you don't address any of the officers of the court. You don't address them.
That's fine. And that's fine. I mean, I get you. I get you. You were trying to, well, okay, let me take a break and I'll get this common knowledge information out in the hall that I don't have. Or you can give it to me right here. You're refusing to give me this common knowledge or tell me about it, but insisting that it's common knowledge. So, and you're blocking me from talking to anybody here aside from yourself. So, you know, there's information that I need that is relevant to right now, that is extremely central to the issue that we're talking about. So, can I phone a friend? I should be able to call pretty much anybody, right? No, he said common knowledge. Not common knowledge among attorneys, common knowledge among people. He said common knowledge.
And that's pretty much what judicial notice is, common knowledge.
Right. I mean, that's one of the claims, right? Common knowledge. It's so common that it doesn't even warrant discussion. But that's the thing. He's loudly proclaiming that you know something that you don't. And he's insisting you're lying when you say you don't know it. Common knowledge means you know it as well, by the way. To say something is common knowledge means that you know it and you're just lying to them. You might know it. It might be information you actually have. It's just not being communicated to you about what he's talking about. So that's my message. Do I have a right to know about these things that you're proclaiming are common knowledge? Things that are common knowledge, you don't have them going in, fuck you, you don't get it. That's what he's implying, of course. But to actually state it and to put it on the record is a little bit different than implying it. Confessions, man. All about confessions.